Hi everyone, it's Lovely Ruth here again today with another video. Today is just drop my remote. Today is August the 31st, the end of August. And these months have been going by so fast. And I am um glad it's moving into September because I'm looking forward to the cooler weather. I want to innovate. I don't know how to pronounce that word, but I want to recap on something I said yesterday about um, being content. I said something to the effect that if you're content, then what more can God do for you? God can do even more. Just because you think you have everything and you're satisfied and content, and you don't want to ask God for anything, but He continues to bless us even in that state. Content definition is in a state of peace, in a state of peaceful happiness. Really need my glasses. In a state of peaceful happiness. I can say I'm in a state of peaceful happiness because if you find peace, um, I mean, pretty much that's pretty much all everybody longs for is peace. Sometimes quiet and serenity. It's nothing like having your peace at something. So, yes, what more can you ask for in that sense? But God, He's good like that. In our state of anxiety and needing to have things and needing to complete a thing and praying for a thing, he hears us and he's quick to bless us and to move us out of our circumstances. um, and also if we seem content, if we're content and we're okay, you're supposed to be okay with grateful rather for what you have. you know what you have is more than somebody else might have. So being content is good. Being content is good. And even so, you're still in a position for God to bless you because He's always finding ways to um, make our lives more better, more livable, more lovable. So yes, um, that's what I wanted to say. I just wanted to get on here and say that I don't know um what's next for me. I always say that I don't know what God has next for me and what I need to do. So I'm saying I need to be still and let God take over. God, you take the wheel because I don't want to be in that anxious state or state of desperation, at any point because I don't want to rush a thing and I don't want a thing to flee from me. I just heard that from one of my life coaches. Uh, Meaning, if you're like, oh God, do it for me. I'm out of time, I'm running out of time. My back is against the wall, which that's what I've been doing lately. Like I have deadlines, and I think I mentioned that. I need to figure out if I'm gonna stay or am I gonna go. And I don't mean to put God in a show me right now what I should do, or I need to know, or you know, I don't want to feel like that I'm desperate for an answer. So he knows what I need when I need it, before I even need it. So he's gonna provide that for me. He's gonna give me an answer. It's just gonna work itself out. I just believe that it's gonna work itself out regardless if I try to rush it or not. So I'm just gonna rest. I always talk about resting. And I'm the main one that's always up and about doing things, finding things to do. I don't have to find things to do. Things should come natural. Things should just happen all natural. And just with a little motivation from the Holy Spirit, you'll get stuff done. It's amazing how you can start doing a thing and you're in it. You're just doing it, right? And before you know it, time has gone by and you look at the clock or you look outside and say, "Oh, it's still early, so I love those moments. Like I'm all involved in this one project, and then, not even feeling like I'm doing anything, but I'm doing the thing, so it's like, I love that. I love that you can get into your gift or talent or whatever you love to do, and time flies. That's the kind of job I want. I want to love it enough to not even recognize it as a job, as work. So that's the kind of passion I want to have for my career. And yeah, 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 that would be nice. That would be so nice. But I'm looking forward to finding something, or something coming to me that I would love to do. And I'm just still waiting. I'm patiently waiting. I think that's I think that's the one thing that God is working on me. He's showing me, he's healing in me, is patience, because I know I mentioned before that I for one don't have enough patience. I don't have a lot of patience. I'm like, get her done, or just do the thing and come out, or go run your errands and get it over with. You don't have to procrastinate, or or be stagnant about it, or be slow about it. Just do it. It's just, I don't have a lot of patience. I don't have a lot of patience with my food. I like 30-minute meals. Like, I could cook within 30 minutes. Um, I don't like anything to drag on. Um, he's teaching me to be patient, because I have to have that in order to accomplish what he has for me, or to enjoy what he has for me. And I've been really like, I have all the time in the world. This is like, if this doesn't teach you patience, what will? So I'm grateful for that. I need that lesson, because I gotta be patient with people that come along, that's, you know on their own time, and on their, like, even my older sister, she's older, and I'm like, we'll read the Bible, right, and I'm like, is she gonna start the thing, or is she gonna start the reading, or what is she gonna? I mean, like, I'll be saying, you found it yet, or you ready? She said, oh no, I'm just, yeah, I'm gonna. And I think I make her a little nervous, a little bit, because she's at her own pace, and that's understandable, and I love it, and I should have all the patience in the world for her. And God is working on me, because when I do that to her, I feel convicted. I feel bad. I feel like, why am I doing that? That's not like me. That's not God, like, to rush a person, and to make them feel bad about, you know, you're not quick enough for me. Let me do it, or stuff like. I really need healing in that area, and I'm glad that God is showing me that I need healing in that area. So we're gonna pray on that. We're gonna pray on that. What else? What's going on with you guys today? I just went and got my sticker for my car. Yesterday I went to get the inspection, so I got the sticker in the car, for the tag, and I'm in line, and I get up there because it's these people in line, and I don't like waiting in lines and crowds and stuff like that. So I'm standing there, and like, okay, one, two, three, four, five people in front of me, and there's a little zigzag line, and this woman came out the line, and this other lady shot in front of this man, right, this couple, and they didn't say anything. And this lady that got, she said, she just skipped that man. She tried to skip me, but it's just, she crazy if she gonna skip me. And then she got up there, the lady that was waiting on everybody, she kind of played it cool. Like, she started messing with stuff at the back, and taking her time to come to her. So she got impatient, and she left, which serves her right, because she just skipped. And that was just, now that I'm looking at that, it's like, I had to see that. That's wow, God is good. I had to see that for myself. I never skipped anybody in line, but the mere thought of me waiting, and I always do this. I'll always look and see who's doing what behind the counter and like what's taking them so long. It was two people. So I didn't really say that this right now. It's just that when I was in line, it's just that I said, mm, this is gonna go really fast because it's just two people in at the counter and two people in line. So I'm good. And so those two people left and it was, our turn. And as soon as I get up there, the girl that waited on me was new. And so she was doing something and I told her what I wanted to do, and she was doing something, and she was looking at the computer, and I could tell she was new, and she said, "I'm sorry, ma'am, 1 second, okay?" And I said, "Okay, just take your time." And look at me being a big girl, so she was like really just moving it slowly and whatever. And so she got my paperwork and she got my money and everything. And then when she went to print it out, the fax machine broke, and then the other lady had to leave her line and help her with the fax machine, and it was like calm chaos, but it was cool with me. I was okay with that. I didn't let anything, you know, trigger me. And they looked at me and said, "Well, ma'am, you need to go shopping or you need to go buy something. You can do that while we work on this." And I said, "Yeah, I could go look around." So I went and got some stuff that I had missed yesterday, and I didn't really even need any groceries. But that was me being patient, and it took me to see that. When I say God is working on me, look at me saying God is working on me, and it is for sure He's working on me with that. I have a lot of other things that I know I need correcting with me, as far as me being growing, and one of them was the number one was patience. The number one, and I also need I would like to also address the elephant in the room, the fact that I and I was talking to my daughter about this. Excuse me when I look off and stuff. I'm thinking, right? So I was talking to my daughter about. I really actually apologize for her for anything that I um, did to her that made her feel any awkwardness when she was younger. Any of my kids, both of my kids, I never wanted them to feel like they didn't have a say so in things, or that their opinion didn't matter. And how much love did I show them. And it's funny how kids grow up and they reflect on how we treated them when they. I'm not talking about me, I'm talking about in general, how we speak to a kid, how we talk to a kid. You don't pay bills here, this is my house, and as long as you living under my roof, then all these under my roof, all these negative things that we implant in our kids, and we don't make them feel beautiful and loved and wanted, and all of this. And I was listening to something the other day about this kid was speaking on how our parents made her feel. And so sometimes in that case, they have to run out and find love from somebody else, or find somebody that say, okay, you don't have this, I'll give you this, or you're beautiful, or, get love from somebody that they don't need to get love from, or be shown that their way. And we don't realize that when we're parents, we're doing the best that we can at the time, and what we learned from our parents and they learned from their parents. So we try to do what we can do at the time. And I don't know. I don't know if a lot of people notice that affects the kids when they grow up. That affects the children when they grow up. I mean, it does, and you could see in your own children that, how come they don't come around as much? How come they don't want to have dinner with me? How come they don't, show me love? And how come that's because what you got to ask yourself, what were we showing them when they were young? I mean, my kids they had everything that they needed. I think that coming from my family and my generation, all of us brothers and sisters, I think I mentioned this before, that our parents didn't necessarily come and say, "Oh, I love you. Oh, you're awesome," and all these hyped up things that they to encourage you. I think we knew that they loved us for the simple reason that they were so concerned about our well-being, and you know keeping us out of trouble and making sure we got in the house before the lights went out on the street, and you're being concerned, like literally being concerned about our welfare. So a hug, an occasional hug, an occasional kiss, an occasional I love you out of their mouth. We didn't necessarily need that because we knew, I mean, it was rare that you see that, but we knew that our parents loved us. It's just somehow, some way, we knew that. And I told my daughter, it was up until I think I was in my 30s, I was 35, 40, when my mom would always say to me then, "I love you. You're so beautiful. You're pretty. You're a beautiful girl. You're beautiful." And she would show me all kinds of affection then, and I would say it back, "I love you, mom." It was just awkward for us to tell each other, "Oh, we loved each other." Back when we were little, kids don't have time to do that. But, the occasional hug. But we knew our parents loved them. We loved each other. But to hear it actually, it was a big deal. I remember when my mom was in the nursing home, she had to go to nursing home because it had gotten bad, really bad, and we didn't want her there, but it was a situation that she had to be there. So she had Alzheimer's and stuff. But even through her Alzheimer's, at the beginning of her Alzheimer's, she would look at me and say how beautiful I was. She's so beautiful, and she would tell me that. And I don't know if that was the time I needed to hear it. I was going through some stuff, when we have our kids. I remember when I had my kid, and we have that thing that we don't want to. Baby just came out of us, and we're feeling all kinds of emotional, hormonal feelings that we have. And my mom was there for me, and my mom has always been there for me all my life, just right there. But to tell me how pretty I was, she used to call me fat all the time. And I say, "Well, Mom, that hurts my feelings." She said, "I don't mean to hurt your feelings. I say that at I say that out of love because I love the way you look, your healthiness, to me, you're fat and beautiful. That's my way of saying you're beautiful." And I would like, "Oh, so many people bigger than me." I wasn't fat per se. I was a healthy weight, and she would just call everybody fat that come around. So that was her thing, not fat in a demeaning way, but fat in a beautiful way. Like love it, embrace that. So um she started calling me beautiful and how much she loved me. She used to hug me and kiss me and stuff, and it just and my dad, he just would always hug me. I loved my dad too. I just love my parents. I didn't have a problem with them. I think I genuinely showed my children that I love them too. And I don't recall how I did it, but they knew I loved them. And right now, they quick to say, "I love you, mom," and it's just there now. Um, but my grandchild, he's 10 years old, and he's my only grandchild. So when he was born, it was a totally different demeanor that I took on. It's something about having grandchildren. Y'all just don't know. I mean, I know we be saying, "Oh, we don't want no grandchildren. That's gonna make us a grandparent." I loved it. I loved it. I was there when he was born. I loved it. It felt like I was a new parent all over again. Like that's a feeling that's almost better than you having your own kids. That's a different kind of feeling. So anyway, we've been having this tit for tat. Like he don't want to come around me, or he don't want to be here. He wants to be with his mom all the time. He when he needs something, he'll find me, and we'll talk. He'll like really been really mean to me. Like briefly pass by the on FaceTime and say, "Hey." It's like no love. And I was telling my daughter, I said, "What's wrong? What did I do to him?" we were always, close. And then lately, I don't know if this boy wants something from me or not. I go and hug him because I always do, and I'm out every time I talk to him. I'm like, "That's my grandbaby," I'm all excited. I'm up to 100 notches of happiness, right? And so lately, I think about the last 2, 3 weeks, when I hug him and kiss him, I kiss him on the face. As soon as I turn my head, he's kissing me on my cheek. And I told my daughter, I said, "You don't even know how that makes me feel for him to respond like that towards me. Like, I know this boy loves me. I know he does. But to respond like that is like, it's so awesome. It's so awesome. I love it. It's awesome. Hold on a second. Okay, I'm sorry about that. That was my daughter. She was see, I when I think about it, when I think about her, she's vibing with me. So she called. It's so funny because she was saying, I'll get back to my grandbaby, but she was saying that this morning when I talked to her, she called me every day at 11, and we talked, and I was telling her, I was just talking about things, and I used to work at that job, so I asked her about this lady named Claudia, and she's, I say, why Claudia don't ask? Everybody seem to ask about me. Why Claudia don't? Do Claudia ask you how I'm doing? And she say, yeah, I say, oh, maybe she, when you and your boss talking about me over there daily, maybe she hear everything you say, so she don't have to ask about me. She know I'm okay. And she's a sweet lady. And she said just now, she said, she said, "Are you a witch or something?" I said, "No, I'm not a witch. I'm a child of the Most High God." And she said, "Well, Claudia just asked me, how your mama doing?" That's funny. It's funny. It's a joke. It's an inside joke. So I told her I just vibe with people. I just pick up on people's vibrations easily. I don't know how I do that. I don't think it's sorceress or anything. I just think it's a gift that I have to pick up on people's way of thinking. I can go around a person and I can feel their negativity. I know we all can do that. We all have that sense of danger or sense of love and happiness. And I try to be nice to everybody that I come into. It's some people that will not let you be genuinely who you are, but you still got to be genuinely who you are. And that's the ticket. So anyway, I always say this. I use the word manifestation very, very lightly. I think about a thing, like I said about the bugs. I don't like to think about the bugs because I'm going to see the bugs. I don't know where this. I have never noticed this before, that I can do that. I think we all have a way of doing that. But I always tell my daughter, I said, if this is true, you know how come I can't manifest this whole bunch of money in my bank account? But God so blessed me, so I don't need it that way. I don't need to focus on. I think money is a different thing. Mammon is a different thing. You have to be. You have to view money as um, a gift to bless somebody else. You can't think of it as yours. I want all of this. I want all of this for myself. You can't view it that way. And I think that's how come I can't manifest it like that instantly, or whatever, because anything else I could think about for a second, and before you know it, somebody's mentioning it, or I see it, or it's oh, it's like that thing, deja vu kind of like things. Like it's like that. Like I feel like I've lived this moment. It's so weird. I can't explain it. I don't know what it is. I'm praying that God would develop develop me um to be a vessel for him, or to develop my gifts, or develops me to be mature enough to allow things to happen in my life that I'm not even trying to control. I don't want to harness anything for bad. I don't want to do anything or take advantage of. It's another call. Hold on a second. Sorry. Um, or anything like that. So I just pray that if there's a gift or talent in that particular area, that I learn how to, or I develop how to use it for good, or use it for to help anybody or help someone. And I will. I think it'll come when you have time for yourself, when you find time for yourself and time for God, and have, silence and be completely still. I think because we work ourselves to the ground. um I have never seen so much come to me in a sense of me just being still, or me taking the time to listen or see things, or develop things or create things. So once we take that time, I think everything else falls in place. I think pretty much you can see what you've been, your gifts that you have been putting aside. I'm gonna do that one day. I'm gonna do that later. I'm gonna do that when I have time. When are we gonna find the time to do what we need to do for ourselves, or for God, or for the kingdom of God, or for the glory of God in that case? So, um, the sooner we do, the sooner our lives are gonna feel like we're actually living it, and at a good time in our lives. So we need to consider that, especially the part where having a relationship with God. It's just you. That's an experience. I think that's an experience everybody should um, have. Yes, definitely. But back to my grandbaby. I went all the way off the subject. This this kid. He's 10, and he's actually kissing his grandmama and hugging his grandma, showing love back to me. And I looked at it as he is maturing. He's growing into respect. I think that's what it is, because he know he can get whatever I have. He can get anything that I have. All he have to do is say, hey, grandma, my iPad broke, or grandma, I need this, or grandma, I want this game, or I want this thing. I said, well, just give me some time and I will pray about it, and we'll see. And he knows, he always, if not for me, his mom or his aunties, or somebody is going to bless this child, because this child is, he's a good kid. He's a good kid. I remember when my kids were in school and I sent them to school, I say, whatever you do, go to school, get your lesson, and respect your teacher. That's all I ask. Anything else is gonna come in place. We didn't. We're not sending you to school to act a fool. You don't act a fool in my house, or me with me, or around my family, or you don't act a fool. You have very big respect for us, and we don't have to ground that into you. And then you're gonna take yourself to school and clown, or be misbehaving, when you don't really even do that around us. So respect your teacher, because they're trying to teach you stuff that you need for life. And I just, instead, I mean, you know don't come home with no report, or no bad, or your teacher did, you did this, and your teacher writing me every day, or whatever. In Derek's case, in my son's case, he was, um his dad wasn't there, so I think he was lashing out for attention from me, because the competition was the his sister. So he kind of lashed out. He was like, nope, you can't contain me, classroom. Every time I would go to school, this boy was sitting outside the class, and I was like, I don't understand this. What's the problem? What's the problem here? And then I come to find out, it was the teacher, that at that time it was the teacher being mean to him, calling him names, putting him in a slow group, and putting him in they actually, because he would not, he didn't like a, so they put him in a slow learning class, which he didn't thrive, because he did not belong there. Until I got all of that straightened out, I didn't have a issue with him ever since. I mean, this teacher went as far as to push him. So it's like back then, I mean, now it's stricter rules than back then because teachers got away with a lot of stuff. If I hear my kids talk now about what happened in school that I didn't even know about, it's amazing. I mean, people would be under the jail cell if they did that stuff nowadays. So it's like, yeah, it was all the rules, all the requests that I have was they go to school, get their education because that's what they're gonna need. And respect the teachers as far as their respect is concerned, treat them like that would be your auntie or uncle until they cross the line. So none of the teachers really crossed the line with my kids, but I have heard some horrific stories about things happening, especially in high school. So keep your eyes and your ears open for your kids because they're not going to tell you because it's not happening to them necessarily, or they hear it or whatever, and they don't want to make a big scene, or they don't want the whole family coming down on the teacher and having to prove stuff and all that stuff. So they're not gonna tell you until probably after they graduate and have their own family or whatever. So that's that. But just that's what I always say: love on yourself, love on your family. Love your family because the more you love your family, the more you show love to your family, the more they're gonna trust you and they're gonna talk to you and they're gonna let it out, and you can just have this relationship with them. I would always used to say, I don't want to party with my kids. I don't want to be my kids' best friend. But I grew out of that. It was like I had to. I had to. If I wasn't their best friend, they're gonna look for some rowdy people. They're gonna look for gangs. They're gonna look for people they don't have no business with. So I was friends with my kids. When they came into my room or when they came to me and said such did this or such, I could relate because I'm in their business. I'm not that overpowering parent. I was in their business. Half of the football team was at my house, even though, they didn't my kids didn't have everything, but kids thought the world of them because they had it's just a light they had. It just was a loving vibe that they had. You know what I'm saying? So people are attracted to that. People are attracted to that. So they had all these friends, right? And like they were always the little boys were like, "Oh, your mom's so cute. I'm just gonna come over there to see your mom," or stuff like that. And they was the cutest little kids. But my kids was well mannered, and they weren't perfect kids, but they were really, as far as in my heart, and far as in my heart, they was pretty good kids. Now I'm not saying they was perfect because I know, see, things after the fact. How they used to steal my car at night when I'm asleep. They would take my car out for a spin. They would uh I didn't really have them. They didn't really couldn't come to the house while I was at work, so I made that impossible because no, they weren't gonna do that. So plus I had neighbors looking out. So it's just some things that they thought they got away with, and they really didn't because what's done in the dark would eventually come to the light. So it was a lot of things that with two kids you have to keep your eyes open with and keep your be mindful of they are human and they can do these things, but God was with us. They never really had oh, I could tell you some stories though. They never really had a big incident to where it was life changing or anything. So God was with us. Thank God. But my grandkid, he's number one in his class. He's very, 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 very intelligent. He's a gamer, but he's so intelligent, like he can create. He's an artist. He can draw and sketch his butt out. He's to me, you're going to school, you're making the grades, you're doing what you're supposed to do. To me, um, you deserve something. You deserve to be rewarded for that, to a certain extent, or what you can afford. So, when he started kissing me and hugging me and showing me that love, which he always used to, we used to be like when he was little. Oh my God, man. Where my grandma, where my grandma, he would always be over here. He was always with me, and then he started loving on his mom, and he's like, oh, she can't turn for him. But now me, it's like I share him with my sister, and I share, yeah, with my sisters, and I share him with me and my daughter. We co-parent him, and he's found this divine love for his mom. So I don't interrupt that. I don't interrupt anywhere he wants to spend the weekend with me, his auntie or his mom or whatever. I'm okay with that. I'm cool with that. I've learned to let him go and be his own little person. But he started showing me love, and I don't know if I kind of like got in his head like I'm a, I know how to play grandma. I'm just gonna kiss her back. I can't even explain that feeling. That is just wonderful. I'm rambling, but that's wonderful. The way he's showing me affection like that. That's so wonderful. And it made me open my eyes to the fact that people really need to love on their children. I'm saying love on yourself, love on you. Know how to love you so you can love others, especially your children, especially your children, your grandchildren, people that you love. Love them. Show them you love them. To tell them you love them. You might not get the opportunity to say, "Oh, I love you so much. I enjoy being around you. Do you need anything? I'm here to help you. If you need to talk, you need to share something. If it's something you can't talk to your mom about, I'm here." Genuinely letting people know that you're there for them. And that's great. That's wonderful. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. And I apologize to I hadn't even talked to my kid. I mean, I'm not really apologizing to them, but if there was anything that I left unsaid or undone or unmentioned or anything that any resentment that they had, was I not there enough? Did I put boyfriends before them? Did I uh, not talk to them enough? Or did I not supply enough for them? Or did I not take them places enough? Or whatever it is that I did not do, I was doing the best that I could, and I did what I knew how to do. And as long as they know that, they could be the parent they need to be. Don't be the parent that I was. Even though I might have been the world's greatest parents in their eyes, I don't know. But don't be me, be you, and be what God instilled in you. And we can't keep blaming our parents for things. Our parents did do the best they could do at that time that they did it. We can't blame them. We got to stand up and be our own character, our own person in whatever we do now as an adult. When we turn an adult and we decide to start having kids, that responsibility lies on us, not on our parents. That means, how we say, God take the wheel. So when we start having kids, the wheel is turned over to us from our parents, and we got to guide and direct those kids because we had them and we're responsible for them. We are totally responsible for them. So until a certain age, so that's our assignment. We have to take care and love those children as if, God trusted us enough to, you know for 18 years, I'm gonna give you this child. It's my child, but I'm gonna give you this child to take care of, nurture, bring up, raise them up as a man, or raise them up as a daughter or king or queens. And yeah, and our assignment is done as far as showing them, taking care of them and making sure they're okay and at home and safe and whatever. And even now they're older, you can still you can look at your children and you can say, wow, I did raise somebody. I did raise somebody good, because they're not running the street. They're not in the club. Not saying that that's not good. You got to do what you got to do. You got to feel that live your life. In fact, and it's like I don't have to look for my children. I know where they at. I know what they. I know their hearts. I know they're not gonna be, you know, robbing no bank at 9, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night. I know they're not going to be riding in the street at 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the. Now, mind you, One of them have tried that before. I'm not gonna mention their name, but one of them had tried that, and sometimes you have, just as I did, sometimes you have to like do the you do the mischievous stuff because you're curious, and the people that you hang with wants you to. Oh, you don't ever do nothing, let's come over here and spend the a couple of hours here, and before you know it's 4 o'clock and you drinking and you driving home and stuff. And I don't like that. I used to be in the clubs and I tried it, and God was with me until God said this. He made it so awkward for me to be in a club. I just felt so out of place, like oddball. And I did not like that, trying to follow your friends and stuff. And no, and I'm glad I installed that to my kids. They don't like that kind of stuff. They homely. They like to be with their my son like to be with his wife at home, chilling, playing the game, cooking dinner together or whatever. Yeah, that's cool. And my daughter the same way, she like to be with her child, and have her own little, thing, and her friends, and whatever. They have to respect her boundaries. And it's two beautiful kids and one beautiful grandchild. I am so grateful. I am so grateful. Thank you, God. Thank you, Jesus. I'm so grateful for my children. Um, but we got to learn to love on them and treat them treat your kids with kindness. Yeah, treat your kids with kindness, and it'll reflect later on in life. um yeah, yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about. But we started off with this. um when I focus, right, when I think about a thing that I want to do or accomplish, or visualize something that I want to. I guess it's the same as writing down your goals. If I write down my goals, I don't go back and look at my goals every day. I just write them down. And I was in the bed the other day thinking about, maybe I should write some new goals. Maybe I'm not setting, maybe I'm setting big goals that's eventually gonna play out in my life. But what about little bitty goals? I I don't I don't even think about little bitty goals, because I live one day at a time. I live whatever happens in that day. Not that I'm all over the place. I learned to be a little bit more organized. But to set a goal, and what is there? What is there for me to set? I always accomplish what I think about accomplishing. If I set out to, like today, I knew yesterday and today I had to get my secrets. That's a goal. It's considered a goal. But yesterday I didn't get it because it's all kinds of red tape. It's got to have cash to get it in line, or if you send out for it, it's gonna take 2 or 3 days, or you know, cash or card or whatever. It was all these things, right? And so today I was looking at the calendar and I said, I have to complete this. So I'm I'm gonna get up and go. But when I first woke up, I'm saying, I'm gonna stay in bed. I'm gonna stay in my cozy bed all day long. And I laid there and I got up and I ate me some breakfast, and I start thinking like, no, I have some responsibilities. I have to go ahead and do these things, get these things out the way before it's you know yeah, before I get in a tight, and I don't want to get in a tight or deadlines. I hate deadlines. I can meet them, but I hate that pressure. I hate the what do we start out saying, like being being in a state of desperation to do things. I Like my mentor say, when you do that, the things that you're desperate for runs away from you. So I'm like, dang, I didn't think of it that way. I didn't think of it that way. And I have to stop being in a state of desperation. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. If it's going to come, it's going to come. I don't even think about a funny story though. I don't even think about, mate or meeting my kingdom husband or whatever they call it these days. I'm meeting my spouse or my husband to be, my king or whatever. Because I used to be obsessed with it. I used to be like, you know, going to the store as often as I could to find somebody. I'm telling you, every time I even if I'm coming from work, I say I'm gonna stop at this store and pick up a couple of things that I need, and I'm always looking over my shoulder, looking around for this a man, maybe some knight in shining armor gonna bump into me and say, "Well, I did get a couple of proposals in Fiesta." Uh, that's neither here or there. But you know, a while back though. But I don't. I used to like every time I, even unknowingly, every time I go into the store, I'm thinking I'm gonna meet somebody. I'm thinking it's in my mind, right? I'm thinking I'm gonna meet somebody, and I don't because I always, on the same token, I always said that I was unapproachable. When you feed yourself that stuff comes to life. I mean, it comes to fruition. It really do come like whatever you feed your mind, that's what happens. That's what I'm gonna say it like this. Whatever's in your mind is gonna come out in your world. That means if your mind is all cluttered up and junky, that's the way your house is gonna be. That's the way your apartment gonna be. That's the way your car gonna look in the inside. Man, I tell you, did I learn that lesson? I looked around me and I have a lot of stuff. I do say that. I said, but when I thought about it, how did I get this stuff? How did I buy all of this stuff? How do I get these little gadgets and these little uh things that I have, right? It starts with your mind. I visualized that I needed some gloves, so I got a pair of gloves on my kitchen table right now. I visualized that I needed a uh camera, a blink camera from my house. I say that would be nice to, when I'm not at home, I can see what's going on in my apartment. So I got that thing. And so it's like everything, if you look around your house right now. How did you get the stuff that's in your house? Because it first started in your mind and it grows and it grows, and so you end up with a lot of stuff that thought you wanted at the time, and then you move on to something else and you bring that here, and then you never take the time to get rid of that stuff because everything is just passing through. People pass through your life, things pass through your life. Learn how to give it up. I was never one of those people, and I'm not a hoarder, but I was never one of those people that give things up so easily or throw things away. This is like my food. If I put it on my plate, I intend to eat it. And that's weird because I don't my mentality is don't waste food. It's people out there that's starving. And I don't think I got that from my mom because I don't think I got that from my mom and my dad because it was a lot of us and we appreciated what we had. We never was starving, but we appreciated what we had, and we got enough for us to be fulfilled. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have, you know, if my mom cooked fried a basket of chicken, right? Like a big basket of chicken, and we all had to eat. So common sense to tell you, you know, you can't have 5, 6 pieces because somebody ain't gonna get done. So it's like we was mindful of that. We ate what we when we was full. I mean, she cooked, she had to cook, right? Um, or when we ate out, she had to get a lot. So we was mindful of that. I think that I the stuff I see on TV, and I know people go hungry. I know people are starving. I know that third world people in our own states are you know are starving, and I can't see myself throwing food that I could have not even cooked or not even bought as much to throw it away. So I now I have this system. I have this thing that I'm just gonna put enough on my plate that I'm gonna eat, and not a whole glob of it, but like just enough. And when I feel full, I'm gonna stop eating. I stop eating, but I won't waste. I'm not gonna waste the food. It could be eaten the next day or whatever. So that's just me. That's just me. I just totally forgot where I was going with that, but I the clutter. Whatever's in your mind, usually comes out. So my mind, I'm resetting my mind to think lightly, like not think lightly, but to visualize having little but a lot. You know what I'm saying? So I see some of these apartments and these homes where a little is in there, but it says a lot. You have more space, but you have just this one couch, this one lamp, and it's just beautiful, right? Instead of having, I used to have to be wall to wall with furniture. I have to feel the coziness. I'm a cozy person. I have to feel warmth and serenity when I walk in my house. I had to have a fuzzy rug and matching, excuse me, matching things in the room would just, but my room wouldn't flow. It was just get in and sit where you can, and it's not, it wasn't junky per se. I wouldn't say junky. I like couches with a lot of pillows. I put this blanket over this one. I like couches with a lot of pillow and a lot of room and comfortability and stuff. It wasn't even about style as much. I think it was about style at first with me, but it's not right now. It's not about style. It's about comfortable. you know, when people come over, are they comfortable? Can you kick it? Do you feel comfortable in the room? And that's me. I like luxury and comfort. And so my next move, my when I move again, I'm gonna start off with nothing in my living room. Nothing. Absolutely not. I'm not gonna clutter up anything that I don't have to bring in there. I'm not going to bring in there. It's gonna be so simple and so elegant and so I had to change my mindset about having everything and too much of everything, because you can have too much of everything and don't have nothing, if you understand what I mean. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I got too much time on my hands, so I can talk about these things, right? But I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. I am going to go study and read and whatever I do every day. I had some delicious tacos last night, and so I'm gonna go rewarm that last one I have and eat that, and just chill for the rest of the today. And find out what's going on with the rest of the world. And I hope you guys have a very good rest of the day. I hope you have an even better evening. Love on yourself, love on your family. Reach out to your family. Love. God loves you. Why not love, right? So I will talk to you guys in a later one and see you soon. Bye.